Welcome to another Python tutorial, and this tutorial is on variables. What is a variable? How can we use a variable? What can variables do? And what types of variables are there? Those are 4 questions I am going to answer in this video. Answer number 1 goes to the question, what are variables? An easy way to describe this is the algebraic equation x plus 10 equals 11. What you'd have to do in such an equation is find what x is equal to, because x is a variable, meaning its value varies. That's what the word variable means. It holds a value that can vary. Variable. It can vary. So you have to find x, and obviously, if anybody's done higher level, lower level math even, you should know x equals 1 in that equation. So x is a variable equal to 1. It holds, when you see x, you should know that it means 1. So what are variables in Python? Because last time I checked, Python wasn't algebra. Well, you'd be both right and wrong. Python and every programming language, and okay, not every, most every programming and scripting language does have algebra to an extent, but it's a specialized thing. Basically, every programming slash scripting language is a form of math in and of its own right. It's called computer science by a lot of people. That's a degree you can get at college, most colleges. And a lot of them put them in under their math degrees because it has so much logical math, logical stuff. So a variable is something that holds a value. So why? Another question. Why would we use variables? What are they good for? What do they do? Well, they're good for holding data, but they take up some data on your computer, your RAM. So why would I want to use a variable if it's just going to hog up data on my RAM? Well, there's several reasons. One of the reasons would be you need it to get data from the user and save it before you can use it later. But we're not that far yet. In fact, we're not even as far as I'm about to tell you either. What if you made a huge program that used a very specific algorithm, and you had this like percentage multiplier to judge, like, it was this one number that was constantly used through the whole application, and you wanted to, but you find out later, oh wait, if you change it maybe just a little bit, you tweak it a little bit, it's gonna work that much better, a lot better. Well, you'd have to go through the application and potentially change it 1,000 times. But what if you only had to change it one place and it changed all of those other 1,000 places? Well, that's what variables can do. They can do a lot more, but that's a big purpose. So that's also why you would use them. How do we use variables? You could also ask, how do we declare variables? That's the same question, sort of. How do we use them is more broad. It has more answers as well. So that for this question, I'm going to actually type. Finally, we're getting to coding. So in a lot of scripting slash programming languages, like JavaScript, var num. That's how you declare a variable in that. PHP, it's num with a yeah. Um, Java, C++, C Sharp, int num. It wouldn't always be net, and you'd have to watch those tutorials to know. Lua. Lua can either be just num to declare a variable named num, or local num. This is Python, as you can tell by the title. Python is different. It's actually much easier. It's much easier with everything, basically. It's a write less, do more language, as a lot of people want to call it. So how do you declare a variable in Python? You just type the name of the variable you want, and the name of the variable is like x. It's the name of the variable, which is equal to 1. So num equal 1. Now let me explain. There's rules to naming variables. It cannot start with a number, cannot have special characters either at the start, at the end, or in the middle, other than underscore, and no spaces. Spaces are not allowed. Basically, it's alphanumeric plus an underscore. And numbers can be used anywhere but at the very beginning of the variable. Is this recording? Yeah. Weird. Sorry, guys, my computer's doing some weird stuff right now. It should be working. If it's not, I'll just record this again. Anyway, enough of that. If it is recording, I might as well do this right? Okay. So, this is our name. This is what we're naming the variable. This is what RAM will know it as. And now it's looking, Python's like, okay, I get it, you're making a variable, could you hurry up and finish? That's what the equal sign tells it. It says, yay, we're done, we came up with a name, there's your variable name. I'll do what you want with it, just hurry up and tell me what you want it equal to. Now there's several different things you can make a variable equal to. Right now I have 1. This would be called an integer, and a lot of you are thinking, no, 1 is a number. Some of you in higher grade maths, you would know what an integer is. But for everybody, I'm going to explain. An integer is a number, a whole number. No decimal places and no fractions. A whole number. So it could be a negative number, 0, or a positive number. And there's almost no end to... it does have an end. Like, I think it's 2 billion, or maybe it's... yeah, it's 200 million or 2 billion or something, plus a lot of other numbers. And then negative, same amount, minus 1 or plus 1, I don't know. It's a lot. A big number that you'll probably never reach, but it does have boundaries. I think it can only be 4 bytes, or 4 bits, sorry, or 1 bit? I don't know. It doesn't matter. No, wait, it'd be bytes. 4 bytes. I don't know. What other kinds of variables are there? What if I needed to have like 1.2 or 1.5? You can do that, no problem. It's just now it's changed its variable type. And even though Python doesn't make us declare a certain type of variable, it does matter a little bit. And this will be explained more throughout the rest of the tutorials. So 1.2. This is now called a double. A double is anything with a decimal place, well, almost anything with decimal places. There's also the float and the long, but I'm not going to get into those two variables yet because they're not that common, at least when I'm using Python or any language really, and they're more advanced a little bit too, even though they're still just variables. So 1.2, good. That's a double. It has more it can be bigger. It, it can take more memory than an integer can, which is why it can have decimal places. What if we needed to have a yes or no, a true or false, on or off? This is called a boolean. True would make it equal to true. False would make it equal to false. You could also, I more commonly use ones and zeros when I'm using Python for true and false, because it's easier, and to be honest, I have some trouble sometimes when I use true and false. So, yeah. Okay, so we got that. Now, strings. This is a weird one. What is a string? Well, a string is a group of characters. A group of letters, numbers, special characters, and anything, really, that can be written down using the keyboard. But can we just do this? No, you can't, because you might have spaces, you might have other stuff, and you might have numbers in it. No, you can't. What can we do to have a string? How can I store hello world or stuff like that? Well, quotation mark. Put quotation marks around it or apostrophes. I'll show you why there's two options in a second. There's a string. As you can see, Actually, I'm going to make a better better description of this. Because everybody ends up putting ones instead of exclamation marks. Okay, so this is a valid string. Hi, space, I'm awesome, blah blah blah. You guys can read. Well, I don't know why I'm showing you all of that. So hi, I'm awesome 111. This is a valid string. But what if we wanted to put and you can put anything in a string basically, almost. There's a couple of rules, but oh well. But what if we wanted to quote somebody and we had to put that in quotation marks? Like, hi. Well, earlier we saw this was green. Why isn't it green now? Because when Python sees you're opening a string with quotation marks, it expects you to end it with the next set of quotation marks. But we still need to do this, right? Well, okay, there's two options. One, you could have apostrophes. But what if you have somebody quoting somebody? You're quoting somebody as they quote somebody, which sounds weird, but you'd need apostrophes for that, right? Or what if you did just put I'm awesome? Well, you can't, because now you have apostrophes. So you can't do that. What can you do? What can you do to work around this? Well, we'll use quotation marks again. And now we'll quote, BB said, I'm awesome. Okay, we see it's not really working. Here's how you fix that. Escape characters. And I wanted to go over this now. I usually go over it later. But I wanted to go over this now because it's sort of an advanced thing. Or, not advanced thing. It's sort of necessary. So, escape characters escape the character and make it just look like a regular character and not mean anything to Python. And when we run this, if we ran this and printed it, you'd see those two backslashes would not actually appear when we printed it. But what if we needed those backslashes now? There's a lot of questions. Well, then you actually just escape the escape character, and now it'll show up. So, escape character is actually pretty important a lot of the time. Uh, okay, so that's variables. And just to prove that escape characters won't show up, oh shit, I've been pressing backspace. Wrong move. Alright, just to prove it, I'm going to print num, and I know num is no longer exactly correct. Oh well. Run module. There you go. Proof. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like or dislike button corresponding to how you felt about this video, and I'll catch you guys later.